أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. This story was mentioned by scholars like Abu Ja'far al-Luban. He narrates, it is mentioned that one of the righteous women in Basra was Umm Ibrahim Al Hashimiyah. The enemy attacked one of the Muslim towns, so people were encouraged to join jihad. Abdul Wahid bin Zayd al-Basri delivered a speech encouraging jihad, and among the audience was Ibrahim. Among the things Abdul Wahid talked about was Al-Hur, the woman of paradise. So here you have Abdul Wahid bin Zayd is delivering a speech encouraging whoever is there to participate in Ghazw. And it happened that her name is Ibrahim Al Hashimiyah from Banu Hashim, was attending in that session. And he went on and on describing Al-Hur al-Ain. Now, I didn't translate everything he said because a lot of it was poetry. But there was a lot of things that he had to say about Al-Hur. So when Ibrahim heard that, she stood up and said to Abdul Wahid, "You know my son Ibrahim, and you know that the nobility of Al-Basra wish to have him marry one of their daughters, and I have not yet agreed to any one of them. But I like this girl you described, and I would be happy to marry her to my son. Can you please describe her again?" So Abdul Wahid goes and brings now a new description. He doesn't use the old description that he had. He has a total new package to present to her now on the description of this Huriyah. Ibrahim said, "I want my son to marry this girl, and I would pay you 10,000 dinars as her dowry." The dinar is the golden coin. So it's more than the dirham. Dirham is usually silver, and dinar is gold. As her dowry, and you take him with you in this army. He might die as a shaheed and intercede for me on the Day of Judgment. If you do so, Abdul Wahid told her, if you do so, that is a great success for you and your son. She then called her son from the audience. So Ibrahim was there, so she called him up. She said, "Stand up." So he stood up and said, "Yes, my mother." She said, "Are you pleased to marry this girl with the condition of giving your soul to Allah? إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ." So Ibrahim said, "Yes, I am very pleased." She said, "Oh Allah, you are my witness that I have married my son to this girl from paradise with the condition he spends his soul in your sake." So the witness is Allah Azza wa Jalla of this contract of marriage. Then she went and brought back with her 10,000 dinars and gave it to Abdul Wahid and said, "This is her dowry. Take it and use it to provide for the mujahideen." She then purchased for her son a good horse and she armed him. When the army started its march, Ibrahim came out with the reciters of the Quran surrounding him, and they were reciting, "Indeed Allah has purchased from the believers their lives and their properties in exchange for that they will have paradise. إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَمْوَالَهُمْ بِأَنَّ لَهُمُ الْجَنَّةِ." So when Ibrahim was greeting her son, she told him, "Be careful and don't allow any of your shortcomings to be seen by Allah." And then she embraced him and kissed him and said, "May Allah never bring us together except on the Day of Judgment." So this is a woman with yaqeen. She's making dua when she's greeting her son. She's saying, "May Allah never bring us together until we meet on the Day of Judgment." Now Abdul Wahid, he said, when we reached the enemy's territory and the people were called to fight, Ibrahim was in the front and he killed many of the enemy, but then they overwhelmed him and killed him. On our way back, I told my soldiers not to tell Ibrahim that her son was killed until I tell her. When we entered Al-Basra, she met me and she said, "Did Allah accept my gift so that I can celebrate?" Or did Allah reject it so that I should cry? Meaning my gift to Allah Azza wa Jal is my son. Does Allah accept the gift or did He turn His back? If He accepted it, I'm going to celebrate. If Allah is bringing His back to me, I'm going to cry. The exact opposite of what would be expected from a mother to do. So Abdul Wahid said, Allah did accept your gift and your son died as a shaheed. So she prostrated to Allah Azza wa Jal and thanked Allah and said, thank you Allah for accepting my gift. The following day, she came to the mosque and she told Abdul Wahid, she told him, rejoice, abshir. So he told her, what good news do you have to give me? She said, I saw my son Ibrahim last night in a dream. He was in a beautiful garden, dressed in green clothes, sitting on a throne made of pearl, and he had a crown on his head, and he told me, rejoice my mother, I got married to my bride. This is an immediate bishara that the mother received, that her son did get married.
صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.